Good morning, everyone. Welcome to the 17th Annual Michigan Adoption Day. Our theme today, Giving Thanks for Families, is a perfect fit for this particular week as we and our families gather to celebrate Thanksgiving. During the month of November, families across the state have special reasons to give thanks as they become forever families to an adoptive child. And children give thanks for having loving parents and siblings, and all of the rest of us give thanks to all of them for taking this on, for growing strong families. My job today is pretty simple. I want to introduce the folks who are here to help us celebrate some adoptions, thank the teams that have helped facilitate these adoptions, and most of all, thank the families who are willing to be here to celebrate with us today. National Adoption Month is a collective effort to raise awareness of children in foster care waiting for permanent and loving families. Here in Michigan, more than 2,000 children were adopted from the Michigan foster care system in fiscal year 2019. And as we gather to celebrate Adoption Day, about 300 children in foster care are seeking a forever home. Throughout Adoption Month, we here at the Supreme Court encourage courts statewide to participate by holding adoption proceedings, arranging open houses, speaking to service organizations, or simply sharing adoption information with their communities. Our hope is that we give the public a window into the adoption process by educating and raising awareness about the great rewards of being an adoptive parent. My colleagues and I have been or are currently in courts across the state celebrating with other families. I look forward to this day every year, and I have never before celebrated it here at the Supreme Court, but I've celebrated it in courts around the state, and each time it's been an absolute pleasure. As you probably know, a lot of things that happen in courtrooms aren't completely happy. In fact, I like to say, usually about 100% of the time, 50% of the people are unhappy with the decisions we make. But today, it's going to be happiness all around, and that's wonderful. It's also personal for me. My mother's mother was 10, my grandmother, when her mother died. She had 3 younger siblings. She was the oldest. And my grandmother tried to take care of her 3 younger siblings, but her father couldn't make it work. He was a sheriff in Arizona, and he put the 4 kids on a train to Kansas City, to an orphanage. And my grandmother carried those 3 younger siblings to that orphanage. But they were lucky because eventually her mother's sister came to get them. She lived in a small apartment. She had 1 child of her own and didn't think she could take care of them, but decided it was her job to try. And she struggled to make ends meet, but there was no shortage of love. My grandmother's story, as you might imagine, is an important one in my family. That train trip with her siblings, including a baby, the story of family, of service, of leaving your worlds better than you found them, and taking responsibility for others, whether those others are your family, your neighbor, or even a stranger. My grandmother's aunt, who took them in, was named Bridget, and that's who I'm named for. So I want to thank all of you for the work you're doing here to make your worlds stronger and kinder. We are grateful. I'm going to introduce the folks seated near me. First, I want to introduce my colleague, Justice Elizabeth Clement. Justice Clement is the court's liaison to children and families. Actually, she's a co-liaison with Justice Kavanaugh. We're delighted to have two members of the court who are passionate about children and families and are following in our colleague, Justice Maura Corrigan's footsteps, who really was a national and continues to be a national leader in supporting children and families. Justice Clement will take over the proceedings for me if we are passing 11 a.m., and I apologize. I will be leaving. I'm going to visit my dad this afternoon, and I'm going to not miss my flight to see him. Chief Judge Timothy Kenny is to my left, and I will let Judge Kenny introduce his colleagues who are going to finalize adoptions. And I think we'll start right there.
All right, thank you, and good morning, everyone. And let me first extend our thanks on behalf of the Third Circuit Court to the Chief Justice, Bridget McCormick, as well as to Justice Elizabeth Clement for their support and encouragement for our court in our numerous activities with adoption efforts. We are, in fact, I think, a leader in the state. We are committed to innovative and best practices We have been the beneficiary of many great ideas and supportive encouragement from Justice Corrigan, who continues to be supportive of us. We've had great leadership in our court with these particular efforts, these innovative practices from our Executive Court Administrator, Zanelle Brown, who is here, and our Deputy Court Administrator, Richard Smart, whose passion and enthusiasm goes a long way. Today, we have two of our colleagues who are here, Richard Joseph, who is to my left, who is the presiding judge in the Juvenile Division, and Judge Christopher Dingle, who has, for many years, done this work with great love and great care. And just on a personal note, I wanted to indicate to you, as the grandfather of 9, I have 2 adopted grandchildren, so I know very much what the notion of a forever family means. And while this is the formalizing of this forever family, I know that they have been forever families in your heart for quite some time before today. So thank you.
Who's going first? I think we are, do you guys care?
I believe Judge Dingle was.
Judge Dingle?
I'll do what I'm told.
All right. Well, then do it.
We are on the record?
We are on the record.
Very good. The first case I have is finalizations regarding the Joyner-Jones children. Would they and their adoption worker please come to the podium? And the petitioner. Good morning. And this has to do with Janiyah Joyner, Brooke Jones, and Xavier Jones. These are case numbers 1900182-A as in Alfred, M as in Michael, plus 183 and 184. The worker, a young lady, help me with your name.
Angela Cook.
Very good. Raise your right hand. Do you swear to tell the truth, the whole truth, nothing but the truth, so help you God?
Yes.
Very good. I feel silly every time I ask this question. Please tell me your name, where you work, and what you do.
Angela Cook from Bethany Christian Services, Madison Heights, Michigan. I am the adoption specialist for these 3 wonderful children.
Very good. Are you familiar with Janiyah, Brooke, and Xavier?
Yes.
Is this going to work?
Yes.
Very good. They have a home. You have reviewed it.
Yes, I have.
Very good. Do they fit in the home?
Yes, they do.
Very good. Are there other children in the home?
There's Miss Brooklyn here, who's a little shy right now.
Okay.
She is wonderful. This whole family has been wonderful to work with for the last year. They are ready for today, Your Honor.
Very good. They are developing normally?
Yes.
Very good. There are some special needs issues with some of the children. The petitioners are dealing with those?
Yes, they meet the needs very well.
Very good. Are the financials good here?
Yes.
Very good. I have reviewed the file. I have to make 2 different sets of findings. One is those required by Henry Jackson. The other is whether the finalization serves the best interests of the children. These are MCI wards. The adoption petitions were filed March 27, 2019. Judge Levy terminated the birth mom June 29, 2018. Judge Levy terminated the birth dad of Janiyah September 14, 2018. I terminated the dad of Xavier and the unknown dad of Brooke October 6, 2016. There were appeals in this matter. The birth dad of Janiyah appealed. The Court of Appeals affirmed August 15, 2019. The birth mom appealed. The Court of Appeals affirmed June 25, 2019. Staffs consulted with the Court of Appeals, and July 30th, 2019, the Court of Appeals said that there's no further appeals pending or possible. And the In re Jackson finding, the court finds that any appeal of the decision to terminate parental rights has reached disposition, that no appeal, application for leave to appeal, or motion for rehearing or reconsideration is pending, and the time for all appellate proceedings in this matter has expired. I will also find that the finalization of the adoption serves the best interests of each of the children individually. Just looking at them in the courtroom, there's a lot of love and affection that exists in this home. The petitioners have the capacity and disposition to give the juveniles that necessary love and affection, plus give them guidance, get them an education that creates a setting that will foster a positive identity. I believe the petitioners have the capacity and disposition to give the juveniles material things they need, such as food and clothing, get them permanence, get them medical care as necessary. And these children have been in the home for a long time. The file indicates that Janiyah has been in the home 19 months. Brooke and Xavier have been in the home 25 months. That's a long time given any of their ages. The children, Janiyah is almost 11, Brooke is almost 5, Xavier is almost 6 years old. The Supreme Court is sending a lot of material for me to read on particularly critical periods for brain developments. Janiyah is going into the second of them. It is highly desirable to maintain continuity here. I believe this is a permanent family unit. I believe that the petitioners are mentally, physically, and otherwise fit. This placement also allows the 3 siblings to stay together. That being the case, I have checked the box for the In re Jackson findings and the best interest findings. With that, I was born to a man who was already a member of Congress when I was born, and he took me to the White House a number of times to watch bills signed into law. When I started handling adoptions, I figured I'd do the same thing. For the petitioners, I have 3 pens for you with which I've signed the documents. I hope they're meaningful. I labeled them so you can keep straight which one was signing which documents. If there's nothing else, congratulations.
Thank you.
Very good. Proceed to do the other one before we do pictures?
And also, if mom or dad want to say anything, you're welcome to say anything you want.
Please.
You don't have to, but you're welcome to.
I guess I just want to say that we're really happy to be a part of this, and we're really happy to be finalizing our adoption today.
Thank you very much. Thank you for being willing to be part of this today. It means a lot, and more than that, to be mom and dad to these great kids. We appreciate it.
Very good.
Yeah, we'll do the other adoption first, and then we'll do
All
photos.
right,
Yeah.
let's
Yeah.
do the adoption for Tyland Marion. Will the petitioners and the worker come on up here? We have just one petitioner here. Now, for this one, I have to do a consent by the young person first, because he is age 14. Tyler, you ready for this?
Yeah.
You want this to happen?
Yes.
Very good. Let's go on the record. We are on the record to consider adoption finalization of Tyland Marion Taylor. This is case number 1900476-A as in Alfred, M as in Michael. Present in the courtroom is the adoptee plus the petitioner, Shanta Taylor. There is a worker there. Young lady, help me with your name.
I'm Sandra Hicks, the adoption supervisor, Homes for Black Children.
Very good. First, I have to handle the consent to the adoption by the adoptee. Tyler, raise your right hand. Do you swear to tell the truth, the whole truth, nothing but the truth, so help you God? Yes. Yes? Very good. Tylen, do you understand that In doing this, you're no longer going to be an heir of your former parents whose rights will have been terminated. Do you understand this? Do you understand you're consenting to acquire permanently the adopting parent as a legal parent as though you've been born to them and consenting to the termination of the right to be an heir at law of your former parents?
Yes, sir.
Very good. I need you to sign a document. Today is November 26, 2019. Tyler, come on up here. I need you to sign first, middle, and last name right at that X. To the petitioner, you need me to yell at him about anything today?
Yes, yes, sir. Belts, pants up, that.
I plan on being on the bench for quite a while.
Right,
If in succeeding years he needs yelling at by a judge, you feel free to bring him back.
okay.
Now, to proceed to the adoption, to the worker, Ms. Hicks, raise your right hand. Do you swear to tell the truth, the whole truth, nothing but the truth, so help you God?
Yes.
Very good. Tell me your name again.
Sandra Hicks,
Very good. Where do you work and what do you do?
Homes to Black Children,
Very
and
good.
I'm the adoption supervisor.
Very good. You are familiar with Tyler and Marion?
Yes,
You are familiar with the person who is petitioning to adopt?
yes,
Those are the people next to you?
yes,
Does the child fit in the home?
yes.
How long has he been there?
He's been there, has it been about
The file says 18 months.
Almost 2 years, or
Little over a
going
year.
on 2 years, yeah.
Quite a while.
Yeah.
Are there any behavior problems by the child?
Normal teenage, don't do this, don't do that, please
going to
stop
school?
doing this.
To Ms. Hicks, is he going to school?
Yes.
What do his grades look like?
His grades are average grades, pretty
Okay.
good.
Tyler, what do you want to become when you grow up?
Pardon?
Okay.
He said, what do you want to become when you grow
Oh,
up?
I want to be an entrepreneur.
I'm an entrepreneur. Now, when people tell me they want to be an entrepreneur, and they're a young person in my courtroom, I immediately have a picture in my mind that they think they're going to step out their front step and declare to the world they're an entrepreneur, and immediately somebody's going to drive up with a big, long, black limousine, and the back seat will be full of girls in Victoria's Secret lingerie, and people will be throwing money at you to play with. Is that what you think it's going to be? Okay. The child, does he have any health issues?
No,
No.
asthma, no, simple,
No,
I mean, you know,
not
nothing.
major.
Okay. The financials, the petitioner has enough money to support herself and the child.
Yes,
I believe I'm satisfied. In this matter, the petitioner was born March 11th, 1975, delivered by Dr. Charles H. Wright. I am impressed. This is a permanent court-ordered adoption. He's an MCI ward. MCI has consented. Adoption petition filed September 17, 2019. The adoptive mom was terminated September 12, 2018 by referee Yusuf, signed by Judge Kavanaugh, not the one we have here in Lansing. There was no dad because that was an adoptive home. August 9, 2019, the Court of Appeals said no appeals were pending. They were asked again for some reason September 6, 2019, and the Court of Appeals again said no. The MCI consent was August 29, 2019. The file clearly indicates we have backup here. The petitioner and the juveniles are the only ones in the home. The home is suitable. The petitioner is employed. I can make the In re Jackson findings. The court finds that any appeal of the decision to terminate parental rights has reached disposition that no appeal, application for leave to appeal, or motion for rehearing or reconsideration is pending, and the time for all appellate proceedings in the matter have expired. It is apparent to me there's a lot of love and affection that exists between the petitioner and the juvenile. They are cousins, as I understand it.
I was there when he was born.
Very good. There's clearly the capacity and disposition to give the child the love and affection it needs, plus also give the child the guidance that it needs, give it the material things such as food and clothing that it needs, give it permanence, give it medical care. This child has been in the home for, by my count, 18 months according to the file. That's a long time for a young person. It is highly desirable to maintain continuity. I believe that the petitioner is mentally, physically, and otherwise fit. I find it is in the child's best interests, so I will finalize the adoption. The document will be signed just as soon as I can find the bloody thing. There it is. And I'll have a pen for you, too. I believe that concludes both of the adoptions that I was to conduct.
It does. But Mom, if you have more you want to say, you know, you have the microphone. So.
No, I'm just grateful.
Okay. Well, thank you. We're grateful to you as well. And congratulations.
Thank you.
Judge Joseph, you have some adopting to do?
I do. We do have two matters today, and good morning, everyone. Probably the most difficult part of my job today is having to follow Judge Dingle, but I'll do my best. So our first matter is in the matter of Alexis Kelly Krieger. So can the parties please come forward? Would you give us your names, please?
Heather Costa McCain.
Josiah McCain.
Megan McDonald.
You're the case manager, correct?
I am.
All right, so we'll have you sworn if you'll raise your right hand. Do you swear to tell the truth, the whole truth, so help you God?
Yes.
All right, so Alexis has been in the home for how long now?
She's been at home just over 6 months.
And how is she adjusted?
She's adjusting very well to the home. She's doing amazing.
Any unmet needs that need to be addressed at this point?
No.
And in terms of the adoptive family, any issues with bonding that need to be addressed?
No.
Right. How are the financials?
They're good.
And any other criminal or Children's Protective Services histories to be concerned with?
No.
Okay. Do you support the adoption?
I do.
Okay. And the court finds from looking at the file that parental rights were terminated in this matter on December 20th of 2017, and that was by order signed 12/21/2017. Pursuant to In re Jackson, the court did receive a report regarding pending appellate matters indicating that no appeals were filed in this matter. So the court does find, pursuant to In re Jackson, that any appeal of the decision to terminate parental rights has reached disposition, and that no appeal application for leave to appeal or motion for rehearing or reconsideration is pending, and that the time for all appellate proceedings in this matter has expired. We've also received consent to this matter from the Michigan Children's Institute, and so the court finds that all of those barriers have been met. In terms of the best interest factors, the court's had an opportunity to review the file along with the testimony that was presented today. The court does find that there is a bond between this child and the adoptive parents, and that these parents can give the child the love, affection, and emotional guidance that's needed in this case, and also that the parents have the capacity and disposition to meet the needs of this child. Child has lived in the home for approximately 6 months at this point, and there are no issues with moral fitness, and the homeschool and community records would now lie in this pre-adoptive home. So the court finds, pursuant to Michigan compiled law 710.22 subparagraph G, that finalizing an order of adoption is in this child's best interests, and the court will sign an order of adoption today to that effect. To the adoptive parents, certainly we appreciate you stepping forward. You are an inspiration to many others that we hope will do the same, but we'd certainly like to hear from you as to your experience.
We have had a great experience. We love Alexis very much and are very excited to just welcome her into our family officially.
Well, congratulations to you, and I will also have a pin for you after the ceremony today.
Thank you, Your Honor.
Thank you.
Okay, our second matter today is in the matter of Zakiah Mackenzie Bragg. So if parties would please come forward. Okay, would you give us your names, please?
My name's Nicole Brewer.
All right.
Kelly Fender.
All right. And so we'll have you sworn in if you raise your right hand. Do you swear to tell the truth, the whole truth, so help you God?
Yes.
Yeah, I don't think she can be sworn in yet, anyway. Okay, so how long have you been the adoption worker on this file?
I've actually only officially been the adoption worker for a few months, but I've known Nicole for over a year.
Okay, and Zakiah has been in the home how long now?
For approximately 1 year.
Okay, and how are things adjusting?
Wonderful. Nicole is a wonderful mother. She's a prime example of unconditional love, and she advocates for all of Zakiah's needs.
Okay, and are there any issues that need to be addressed in terms of Nicole's development at this point?
None at all.
Okay, and Ms. Brewer's financial situation, does she have the means to support this child?
Yes, she does, and she has been supporting Zakiah, yes.
Any issues with an appropriate home?
No issues at all.
Any moral fitness issues?
None at all.
And other issues that you think would be relevant for this record?
None at all. I would just ask that the court adopt the recommendation and finalize the adoption today.
All right. And to you, Ms. Brewer, how have things worked out since Zakiah has been in the home?
Wonderfully.
All right, great. So the court would note, first of all, that the court did receive a consent to this adoption from the Michigan Children's Institute, and that was dated September 17, 2019, consenting to this proposed adoption. Court would also note that there are no pending appeals in this matter, and that's pursuant to a report filed August 20th of 2019. There was originally an appeal by the birth mother, which was affirmed, and that decision was issued May 15th of 2018. Parental rights were originally terminated from hearing October 10th, 2017, and order was signed the same date. So the court would find, number one, pursuant to In re Jackson, that any appeal of the decision to terminate parental rights has reached disposition, that no appeal application for leave to appeal or motion for rehearing or reconsideration is pending, and that the time for all appellate proceedings in this matter has expired. With respect to the best interest factors under Michigan Compiled Law 710.22G, the court finds that Ms. Brewer certainly has the ability to provide this child with the love, affection, and other emotional ties and guidance that are needed. She has the financial means to support this child. The home is permanent. There are no moral fitness issues, and there are no other factors considered relevant for this court. So the best interest factors certainly overwhelmingly support an order of adoption. The court will sign your order of adoption today, and I will also have a pin for you after this ceremony. But I would like to hear from you as to your experience with this process.
I didn't know where to speak.
It's always hard. It's always hard for me, too.
I'm just really, really blessed. I knew she was my daughter instantly, and so this is surreal to me. This is a blessing to be able to be here.
And it's also a blessing for us. We can't have enough people like you step forward to help out, and it's always such an encouragement to see an adoption that is finalized and works out, and it's an inspiration to everyone. So thank you for coming forward.
The next thing that's going to happen is we're going to do some photos with the adoptive families and whatever judges they want in those photos. And then we're going to have a second part of the program where we have some very special awards to be given out. So I guess photo break happens right now. And who's in charge of photos? Where do you want us, Lynn? Down? Down, of course, right. Do you want us to, or? Take a photo of me with a superhero.
Ladies, lead the way.
We all go
I
down?
think we can go down.
Yeah.
I think you go down that way.
Probably got to see where they want us to go. We're going to take a nice picture. You got to smile really big, okay? Your photo, I'll make that. Sure, baby. Here,
What'd you get?
Excuse me.
Go first because we're still waiting.
Oh, did we just?
Yes, it is. I like your dress. And I like your boots.
And take a picture of your boots.
Thank you. What's in there? Be careful. You ready?
Fun.
We didn't know if we were supposed to
Oh,
be
yeah.
up here as
Yeah,
well.
come back up with me.
All right.
I'm just going to tell them that I'm leaving now. Perfect. Thank you.
Do you want to? Of course. Whatever. Yeah.
Okay, hang on. We're going to do one more photo because some new family members arrived, I'm told. So sorry, all of you that just got back up here, get back down. One more photo, and then after that, I'm just going to tell you now so you know what happens. The families can go head downstairs where there's going to be a lunch. We will have a second part of the program where we're going to be handing out some awards. You're welcome to stay, but if you and your kids want to go down and start eating, you're welcome to do that as well. And Justice Clement will be taking over the program at that point. But we're going to do one more photo now, and then we'll turn to the awards. Do they want us down there? Just.
And then you can go.
Ed, I think they need you down there.
Mine?
Such a nice event.
Isn't it nice? I tell you, this is my first one.
I was at ours last year when we did our, we do it in the city auditorium there. It's always, filled. It's really lovely.
Well, and this we get the whole ambience of the court. So it's very nice. I'm sure the families
And having the two grandkids who went through this process, it's a little more meaningful.
absolutely, absolutely.
Had me lunch. She took her cases. Cases. And she